May 9th, it's 5:30. If we could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, we come to you today, thanking you and praising your name. Be with us today, Lord. Help us to be good stewards of the money for this county and for the citizens of Scott County. I pray a hedge of protection around our county and about all our first responders as they take care of our county members. Be with us, keep us safe, Lord, and thank you, and help us to do your will. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, we have everyone present here. Our attorney is not here. We also have, I need a motion for the acceptance of the agenda. I think we do have a change to the agenda. Jonathan White and his ambulance audit, he's taken that off of today's agenda.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a motion to accept the agenda.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor? All right, okay, thank you. Any public comments? All right, we will move on. All right, first thing on the agenda is the County Council's appointment to the Scott County Regional Sewer District Board. Ward, correct? Consider a ward, Vienna?
Ward 3.
Ward 3, which is Vienna, is that what it's called?
And a portion of Lexington,
Okay,
because of this military grant.
gotcha. Okay, you guys want to
Yeah.
present us with your nominee?
Our nominee would be Jason Applegate.
Okay. All right,
He lives in that same ward
okay,
that the previous board member did, that quit.
okay,
And this would be actually just through the end of December 2024. Sharon Schmittler has served on the board for a long time, and she has resigned. So her term would be ending December 31st, 2024. Randy spoke with Jason yesterday, and he said he would be here tonight. But we've called him and we don't know why he's not here.
Jason only answered the phone one time. Second time he called me.
Well, actually, when I talked to him yesterday, he said, I'll call you at 5 and let you know I'm on my way. But he may be having car trouble, who knows?
okay.
Emergencies come up.
All right, so we have a nomination of Jason Applegate for the sewer district, Regional Sewer District Board, Ward 5, is that what you said? 3?
Ward 3.
Ward 3, sorry.
I'd make a motion to accept Jason Applegate into that position at the nomination of the sewer board.
I'll second it.
All right, I'm gonna make sure I do this correctly now. And now that we have two motions, any comments or questions? I'll make sure I do it right this time.
No.
Okay, all right, all in favor? All right, 7-0. That was easy.
Thank you. If there's a
Well,
problem,
thank you
we'll
very
be
much.
back.
Okay,
We will be back.
Well, we're probably gonna have another person before long,
okay,
that we'll have to replace. Most of you probably know Claire Atkins.
mm-hmm,
Claire has approached me today and said that her eyesight's getting to the point that she's not really able to carry on what she's doing.
and what ward is she in?
And, well, let me look here and make sure I'm telling you right, but
Five.
I think, yeah, she handled it.
See, I knew you were gonna bring up Ward 5 this meeting.
Do we know when her term ends?
Yeah, hers doesn't end until she just was reappointed.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, I think we just
Her
did.
term isn't until December 31st, 2025.
25, okay, thank you.
We don't expect her to
Sure.
stay on that.
Okay,
Thank you all.
all right, yep,
Thank you, guys.
thank you.
Be careful.
Thank you.
All right.
You guys all hang around and help me get up.
You're fine.
Y'all turn your heads.
If they let
It's
them
all
help
good.
you.
Thanks for
See you, Joe.
sharing, I appreciate it, that helps.
Thank you, guys.
We'll see.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you, Randy.
All right,
Y'all
next,
take care.
you too.
Be good to Jennifer.
I have been. Next on the agenda is Denise Vaughn with the Veterans Affairs, request for a line item transfer. She's requesting $3,600 to be taken from salaries, her salaries and wages to office supplies. Do I have a motion?
I'll need,
Yes,
okay, go ahead, I need an explanation for that, I don't know.
Well, we gotta do the 1 and the 2 and then we go, remember I was told. So, all right, so I have a motion from Diane. Do I have a second?
Wait a second.
JR? Okay, any comments or questions?
Well, I mean, that's kind of a strange request, so can anybody explain that?
Do we know why it's coming out of salaries?
Yes, she
Yeah.
had an employee that was off sick for an extended period of time, so they have extra money in their payroll.
Okay.
And that'll free up some money, she needs some office supplies, some new chairs and stuff.
Okay.
So she was just asking to use that for office supplies.
So that's not gonna cut them short on their payroll?
Absolutely not, no,
Okay.
this person was not,
Probably, it's,
not on the job,
right, probably the part-time,
yeah.
part-time.
Yep.
Okay, so I have Diane with motion, JR with a second, all in favor? 7-0. All right,
One other topic on her, since
Yes.
we're on here. I've asked Jennifer to send everyone a copy of her job description that we tabled a couple of months back. And I don't think we ever revisited that to vote her as a full-time employee. So that should be in your email. I have a hard copy if anybody wants to see that also, but I ask that in the next few weeks we review that and we'll have it put on our agenda for the upcoming.
Do you want it on the April 30th meeting?
That's fine.
Okay.
We're good with that, aren't we?
April 30th or May 30th?
May 30th.
Or May 30th, I'm sorry, May 30th.
It's whatever. We can go back in time.
Whatever, it's been a long day, I don't know.
Alright.
Yeah, May 30th would be fine with me.
May 30th. I don't know that, I'll have somebody go.
okay, next one is Judge Howard, Superior Court Judge Howard, she's requesting a line item transfer. Is it 2,500 from each of those lines?
No, that's the balance of those two accounts.
Okay,
She wants 297608 in total
okay,
for law books.
okay, so she's pulling,
What out of what?
That for,
She's pulling some out of her contract services and some out of her equipment repair.
okay, did she wanna keep one, did she wanna zero out one, or did she wanna do half and
That's
half?
all
What
I'm
was
saying,
her,
let's just do half and
let's do
half.
half and half?
7608
I think she has it
divided by
broken
2.
down. Do we have a copy of it? Hang on, I think she has it broken down. She
Those
wants,
were all in your emails.
yeah, she
Yeah.
wants 47608 from equipment repair and the whole 2,500 from contractual services.
how much out of equipment, please?
47608 out of
Equipment,
equipment. And then she wants to zero out.
Zero out the other one.
the contractual services,
Okay,
yes.
so I will entertain a motion to transfer 47608 out of equipment repair to law books.
I so moved.
Second.
Collins, they are, do we have any,
I'll second.
oh, I got that. Are comments or questions on this?
Oh, sorry.
No?
I
All in
didn't know you-
favor?
I didn't know you got a second.
Okay, that's equipment repair. And then I'll entertain a motion to take 2,500 out of her contract services, transfer it into law books.
I make that motion.
JR,
I second it.
Miller. Any comments or questions?
I would just say I'm not a huge fan of zeroing out line items before the middle of the year, but if that's what the judge is requesting, we'll do it.
Okay. All in favor? 7-0. Okay.
Does she have any contract service?
I guess I got
A rebuttal?
something to add to that, you know, when you zero one of the lines from, whatever, I mean, from our point of view, whenever we look at the budget, that's, we're gonna say, they don't need that.
Right.
And so I think that kinda needs to be kept in mind from, you know, whoever
Well, and-
makes a request.
And that's why I just asked, do we know if she has contract services, or is that, I mean, I don't even know if she contracts with anyone, so maybe that's a question we can shoot to her.
Yeah,
I can look back and see what she spent out of it last year
Okay.
and let you
yeah,
guys
we
know.
kinda keep that in mind, because I mean, you know, we don't want the department head to get caught without anything, or we don't want.
Or zero it out in May and come back in November and say you need 2,500 put back in.
Yeah, or if somebody, you know, agrees that they have made this decision and they're gonna go through with it, we'll say, okay, fine, we'll leave that zero for you.
Right.
Okay, next up, we got Kevin Hall.
Kid? You don't have to sit in that chair either if you don't want. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I'll be me out there.
We should.
See if I got enough.
Yeah, right.
Probably.
You can share, we're good.
So the first thing I'll bring up is the additional appropriation request for, equipment repair. Our beginning balance is 27,000. Right now, we're negative 2,387. I have two pieces of equipment in the shop right now, one of them being a roller, asphalt roller, 10 ton, one of them being a Bobcat. The estimated repair on the 10-ton roller is probably gonna be around 15,000. Complete rebuild on
Equipment
a
repair.
Cummins motor, along with a handful of other parts and pieces to put it back together. And then the Bobcat has hydraulic issues. A guesstimate on it right now is 5,000, but it's kind of pushed to the back lot, so when they get it back to their forefront, we'll see.
Made any, decisions or anything on your, Challenger boom mower, puts the diamonds?
No, I haven't worked on it.
So is it, you're gonna say it's done, or what are you gonna do?
No, we're gonna work on it, but, as far as cost for repairs, I know what it is, because I've done a lot. It's $500 for a cylinder, and we can weld some brackets on the side of it, and I'm $550. So I kinda know where I'm at with that. On the back of your all's pages, I think it just has like a brief description of our rolling stock at the highway department. Maybe the middle page right there.
That one?
No, the
No.
middle page. Sorry, I gave you all my paperwork. It just has a brief description of
What you have.
what we have. Is that it?
This one?
Yeah. So I just kinda wanted to, and that is the replacement values new. That isn't what it's actually worth, and that's an estimate on what that machinery would be worth. So there's like $4.8 million of rolling equipment at the highway department right now, full replacement. So my first budget that I done, when I first came in, before I had a budget period, we had to transfer a lot of money out of the paving line for equipment repair. Then the second budget that I done, I come in at 50,000 because I thought maybe that's where we would be compared to what we spent, and I got 27,000. And then the second budget that I done,
I came in at 50,000 and I got 27,000. So I just kinda wanted to see the reality of $4.8 million worth of equipment to fix for $27,000 in a year isn't a number that's gonna work year in, year out. So it's just to lay eyes on it. I should have broken down how many pieces of equipment I'm talking and how much money we're putting in per piece of equipment. It's pretty minute amount of money. And that's just rolling stock, you know, that ain't counting chainsaws and which doesn't typically come out of this line anyway, so it probably ain't, that we have a small tools hardware that it usually comes out of. But I just kinda wanted to give nothing we can do right now, but just kinda get a look moving forward. That's 27,000, highly unlikely to ever wanna cover equipment repair at the highway department.
So you're asking for 25, you got 20 going out.
Right.
And it's gonna only leave you 5 for the rest of the year?
Yeah, and I could always come back. I mean, right now, if it's sitting on my lot, it's running.
Okay.
Besides these two pieces of equipment, we got a couple minor little things, like he said, I kinda know what that's gonna cost me.
Okay.
If we need more, I can just come back and we can address it, but, the roller, we set it in the back and beat around on it a little bit to see where we thought money, would it be worth it, would it not be worth it? We put $6,000 in it last year. Had to get a radiator built for it, had to get an alternator ordered in for it, which the parts for a roller's crazy. Replacement value was $150,000, bare minimum. So we're gonna put 15,000 in it. Now granted, it's a 96 model, but it's probably, I think for what we use it for, we can get some more life out of it, so.
So once you do this repair, you think it'll last another couple of years or something?
Hope so. You know, it's, I think so. I mean, if it's, you know, I guess at the end of the day, if you had to put another 15 in it, if you was in that deep, you know. But anyway, I just kinda wanted to touch base on the equipment repair. I just don't think it's ever gonna work out at that number.
All right, so I will entertain a motion to transfer an additional appropriation of $25,000 from Fund 1176 to equipment, no, that is equipment repair, what do you?
Equipment repair, yeah.
Okay,
the
so
same-
from
it's just a
1176,
line item
it's just a
change,
line
right?
item change, right?
In the same fund, just a different line?
Is that what we're doing?
No, I'm asking for additional,
He's asking for an additional of his cash balance.
yeah.
Money that wasn't appropriated, but it's still his.
Okay,
So
He has
the,
1.4 in that.
okay,
okay.
so,
He's already got it.
And what fund is that in? Just,
That's his 1176 unappropriated cash
unappropriated?
balance.
all right, so I'll entertain a motion, to transfer the additional appropriation amount of $25,000 from Fund 1176, his unappropriated cash balance, to equipment repair.
I so move. I second it.
Who did?
Oh, what?
White or Miller?
No, sorry. You got, the three Johns on the side now. We need to balance.
Do I have any comments or questions?
Yes, there's a big balance in there, I looked at it.
Yes,
It's a big balance.
1.4
Okay, so that's the,
unappropriated.
yeah, that's an operating balance, basically.
Yes.
Okay, so,
Just moving it,
I,
We're moving it to
well,
his
it's technically
equipment
not
repair.
budgeted.
Right.
Yes.
Right, we're over budget on equipment repairs.
Yeah.
Technically.
Yeah, so,
but it's his money already, right?
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
so,
County's money, but yeah.
I wouldn't be here.
he's the guy that's here.
Right.
No, but, this might sound crazy for me, but, you know, is that enough money? I mean, cause it's only.
And that's what I was saying, it's only,
there.
only a $5,000 buffer is what he's getting.
Well, I mean, just to be honest with you, I think I proposed in my budget 50,000, is what
And that
I
puts,
was
So this-
hoping
this
that would
brings
get
it-
us through
that puts you-
compared to my first time coming in on what it actually took to get there.
that puts
So
you at
this will put you to
52 total
52, right? Yeah.
for the year.
Yeah, and that puts a $5,000 buffer, which is it a lot? No, but
Need be, you can come back.
it need be, I can come back, it's not that big.
Okay, well, that's what, I'm fine.
All right,
We'll see where it's at. I mean, like I said, it's mostly the big ticket items that comes out of the equipment repair. So I'm hoping not to have too many more of them.
Where do you do other repairs out of?
We have,
Maintenance.
yeah, we have the garage supply and motor supply.
Okay,
So
so
like, you know, some of the parts we go get.
okay, so that, you technically got that, those lines don't say repair on them, but they include repair materials.
Yeah, like a lot of these repairs is contractor work that we've had done.
Yeah.
And, Boyd Cat, Kentucky Truck Sales, Ag Revolution, stuff like that.
All right.
Okay, so I have a motion by Collins, seconded by Miller. All in favor? 7-0. All right. Now we're gonna do the request
Building
for
materials.
line creation. Is that what we're doing?
No, I think it's,
It's gonna be moved, yeah, request for line creation and auction proceeds, building materials.
okay, so it's gotta be a line creation in that.
So the fund 9177 is auction proceeds.
Right. Because you can't take auction proceeds and pay
And put it in our regular budget?
and put it in 1169, you cannot do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so,
So 9177 is auction now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And where are we moving it to?
We're building a line
We're
within
creating-
auction proceeds
Yeah.
to
To
pay
say-
out of, to say building materials.
all right, so I'll entertain a motion to create a line item for building materials. Are we calling it 22-102?
Yeah, that's the line item. Mhm.
22-102 in his auction proceeds fund.
I'll make a motion to create that line item.
Collins. Any questions or comments?
Yeah, I thought we already did all that.
We didn't create the line.
We
item.
didn't create the line item in his auction.
Okay, so, I mean, way back when, didn't we vote for money for that?
Yeah, so the top page, I believe, I can kinda walk you through it a little bit, so we can have an idea of what we're talking about.
Let me pause you 1 second. We'll
Yeah.
have to appropriate money to this line if we so choose to create the line, so we'll have to go through
Oh,
this
that's-
again
We
here
already
in a
did
minute,
that.
right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
We already did the 49,000.
we already did the 49,000. We already
In the-
appropriated the 49,000.
So why are we creating a
We
line?
got-
Because we,
To spend out of it.
because we
Yes.
have to be able to spend out of
Okay,
it.
alright.
Yes,
You're right.
And
Carry on with your
expenditure law.
question. Sorry.
you're right.
Okay, so, but I mean, there's like 125,000 or something that we either voted for or okay for, in some fashion. For
Okay, so here's where we're at. This is what was done. So we voted for 11,000 for me to get the plans from Homeland Security and go through the whole thing that we had to go through to have a building where employees work in it and the whole government thing. So I did that, so we got those plans back. And then that top sheet, I think John has, I think at the bottom you may see 175,000 on it. Okay, so, Lindy asked me just the last time, it's been a long time ago, but I'm just now kinda getting back to it. You know, where do you think you'll be at on that building? And with the steam Jenny, it's figured in there because it kinda goes hand in hand. We was at 134,928, and that was with 10% overages figured in. Hope, you know, that's not too far fetched on a project like that. Right now, in my auction account, with the money that is in there and the money that is coming from things that have been sold, it'll be around $175,527 is what'll be in that account, so that'll leave us with roughly $40,000 in between them two marks if something was to go wrong. There's still a few unknowns on the building as far as price. On the city, I'm getting my electric over, so I might be off a little bit on my numbers there, but, and then
How big a building is it?
it is 60 by 120. Half the building will be insulated, heated for the steam Jenny washway, park trucks in the winter when they freeze up and all that. Other half is nothing but just an open side, and we got, I should have brought them. The other side, just two open bays, equally 30 by 50. We're gonna line them in concrete blocks, and that's where our mixture of sand or cinders and salt will go, so it's under roof. we've had a lot of problems with, in the winter with it freezing up, big old chunks, so we're gonna try to store enough in there in between storms to keep it kinda dry.
That sounds good. You got, will we be able to see a picture of it or a
Yeah.
blueprint or
Yeah,
kind of random drawing of it?
yeah, speaking of that, I sent you all an email for, for 5/21. I invited all the council to come down and the auditor, whoever wants to come. Kind of 2 reasons. One, I want to kind of go over the chip seal, my background, some of the chip seal equipment, some options on that. And 2, we just want you to see the equipment, the good, the bad, the in-between. And so everybody just kind of has a view on actually what's there, what's not there.
You got blueprints from the building too there.
We do have blueprints for the building, so you can see it there. Yeah, not sure about there, but, they was done by, I went blank on his name, engineering firm out of New Albany. But, so they're all laid out correctly in the state of Indiana. We're gonna follow those guidelines, so it'll be government, commercial building, everything like that.
So, I wasn't here for the building thing.
Right.
Did we appropriate money for a building and you're using auction funds, or how'd that work?
We're just using the auction
Just
funds
using the
to
auction funds.
To
fund the building.
Okay.
Yeah. Right now, what you're doing is, on what I asked for building materials, is we're gonna buy this lumber and
Right.
metal. I'm gonna ask the commissioners to use a bay at the Arbuckle building for a little while to store all this. This isn't a project that the county garage is gonna get done like that. It's a in-between times, dead times, cold
Yeah.
times type project.
I can tell you, you're already off on garage doors, 'cause I bought 2 of them, they're a whole lot more expensive than that.
Not when you buy them from Menards and put them in yourself.
There you go.
That's right, but that's also.
Well, and now's the smart time to buy it.
More
Lumber's
than 10%.
lower, it's, lumber's down, now's the time to buy it.
We can get them there for,
I bought a 16 by 20 and it was $16,000.
yeah, we're 12 by 12, so we're 12 by 12, and we can get it for $2,000 insulated,
Okay,
Motion.
a piece.
so, all right, so I have a motion to create the line item 22-102. I have a motion by JR, seconded by Collins.
I'm sorry.
Okay,
Just one other thing about the, million, whatever it is, operating balance, isn't that a big number there? Or am I wrong?
I mean, it's $1 million, so
I know, but
what are you asking?
well, I'm just not, I should know, but I don't, why is the operating balance so big? I mean, it's
Well, let's-
really not an
let's finish-
operating balance.
Let's finish this, because
Okay.
that's not what we're talking about right now. We still gotta vote on, we still have to vote on the line item
Okay,
creation.
I'm sorry. I
So-
didn't-
All right, all in favor of the line item creation? 7-0? Okay,
I'm sorry, I blanked on that, but I think it needs, I don't think, this is as good a time as any, I think, to explain that, unless, I just don't get it very well. Because most operating balances are pretty minor, 100,000, 200,000, and so I don't know, is this an operating balance technically, or is it something else?
It's unappropriated cash value. This is money he has that is unbudgeted. You guys don't, you don't look at all he has when you give him this budget.
Right.
So this is what was carried over from years before. It's just unappropriated, and when he does his budget and he tells you what he thinks he needs, and then council tells him what he gets, and then if he goes over budget on things because prices go up or whatever happens, then he can go back, and we have to ask the state for it too. I'll have to send it into DGLF and say, can we appropriate this money for him?
Okay.
And they look at the balance, and they look at the previous years, and they give us an answer.
I guess so, to get my pea brain around it is, he has such big, things that can happen, like a bridge falls in
Exactly.
or something in the road, or it can be a major thing. That's why the operating balance is so big, because it's designed for that type of event or something.
I'm assuming.
Sounds logical.
Yeah, I think that's right.
okay, so we got your line item creation. Okay, so now we need to approve the 49,000.
Yes.
into to the new line item.
You said we already did. So
No,
it's already
we,
there?
no, we approved the use of it, but now we've gotta move it from the auction proceeds to the line item. Yes, so, I know, right? So,
That may be overkill, but.
well, we're gonna do it
Yeah,
anyways.
why
I
not?
move
Yeah.
that we move the 49,000 from the fund balance.
I second it.
Any questions or comments?
No.
All in favor? Alright, you got it. Okay,
There you go.
who seconded that? I'm sorry. Okay, is that it?
No, the 8,000 for the steam Jenny, is it through there too?
Is that not included in the 49?
No, that's just, the 49 is just strictly, material.
Yeah, they're all together.
It was, I had it as a separate additional, or, I'm sorry, not additional, but appropriation out of the auction account for 8,000.
It's not in it.
Mm-mm.
It's not in it,
So we'll just do
Can we
that.
advertise it for the 30th?
We'll do it.
Yeah,
How about that?
yep, I will.
Wherever you're buying, is the quote good or whatever until then?
I'll check with them, usually it is, so I'll ask them to make sure it is. A lot of times they'll just re-up it for 30 more days if
I
they
thought it
can.
was too, so.
I think we gotta meet the 30, so we can get it in there now.
Get it in? Yeah, that's what I just asked. We can put it on that and
It's
get it
not
done.
really I mean, we need it, but it's not really a 911.
Except for the new garage part.
Yeah, well, we're gonna use it now outside, but that's where it's eventually gonna go. Yeah, enough paper. It's gonna go, so you know where the 7-bay garage is now, right there, running, north and south? So it'll go line up with it, and it's probably go around 50, 75 feet from that building. So when you pull in, you'll drive in between the two buildings. So,
know before the cinder pile.
yeah, where it used to be.
The old asphalt plant and all that. you can set over that
So
way.
the hope is, truthfully, on one reason we're trying to build it there is it kind of blocks everything back there. The hope is it kind of blocks the whole, everything that's back there. Just for the public eye, the museum eye and all that, so.
Didn't say north or south, did it?
Yeah.
They're gonna be east side.
They'll both, yeah, right.
Alright,
Alright,
Like, yeah.
Thank you, Kevin.
and you have it in your notes to advertise for the 30th?
you don't have to be here for that either, does he? I don't think you don't have to be here on the 30th unless you just want to. I think we know what you need and we'll fix it.
Alright, next up, Michelle, Health Department.
Just here to talk about our tabled request for appropriating the money to buy a new vehicle. So, with the help of Nick, I had some quotes. Sorry, I only printed up a few copies to save some trees, but.
We can.
So we advertised for 55,000.
Share with them. It's down so they can share.
The light quote, for basically all the equipment that'll go inside of Nick's vehicle, is just under 5,500. Our decal quote, basically it's gonna be about $1,750 each for each vehicle, so 3,500. And then my vehicle quote comes in just under 31,000, so an estimated total of about 40,000. But we advertised for 55, just to get some wiggle room. And I have
This is a amount requested 30 days.
$76,910 to work with.
These are all.
That is all.
So what do we advertise the right
It
amount?
No,
was
we
advertised
advertised the
correctly.
correct amount. That is wrong on there. It should be.
And your fund balance is what? Cause it's not right either.
70, it's probably, yeah, and I can explain why. The available cash that I would have to buy it from is $76,910, but there's probably more than that in there when you
There
pulled
was
it.
less than that when I ran this, cause it changes all the
You
time.
ran it from,
It was 74, 346, 32.
yeah,
I
well,
ran it last week.
okay. Cause that fund, it gets 2 deposits every year, so usually
Right.
it's a little bit off because it's non-reverting, so basically what it was on December 31st is what I have to use for, or extra, we'll say.
So the,
We advertise the right amount.
Yeah, and if you wanna see, there's a copy of that.
so the advertised amount
It was
was,
55.
was 55,
And you actually need how much?
so you actually need the 30.
Yeah, 40 would be ideal, just for a little wiggle room, but.
Is this graphics on this new just one bill?
You understand?
So it's times two, so the 1750s for, yeah, so take off one vehicle, put it on a new vehicle. So Nick's will have to come off and his new vehicle will have to have decals for him, and then the new vehicle, will have to have decals for
So
him.
you're doing 2 vehicles and 1 removal, right?
Yes,
Okay, that makes better sense.
yes.
I say he doesn't charge me nowhere near that one vehicle, so I should get really worried about that. I was trying to
46
call.
or 46 or
No, right.
76 or 74?
That's what her current.
That's what your current is, okay.
I didn't even, yeah, that's.
Okay, so, but didn't Heather talk about doing 2 different appropriations?
Which it was advertised.
Yeah, we advertised it.
I'm only
Actually,
taking it out of
split
one
into 3.
fund.
Okay, it's all coming out of one fund, I think it was just going in different line items, is that what I understand?
Yeah, and like, I don't understand, I don't understand how you have to advertise.
I'm still working
I was
on
trying to talk to,
We're
some people that
advertising
used to
50
do
out
it,
of here
and,
and 55 out of that, or 5
like, what I
out
would
of
put in the
that.
line item is, I don't think is how you, like, I would put it in as equipment, to buy the equipment from Light It Up, but I don't think that's one of the 3 categories that you advertise for.
Are you actually buying anything though, or are you just taking stuff out and moving it?
Buying, right? We're buying things to put in
We have to
the,
buy 2 light bars and then we're repurposing the less, because the light bars are vehicle specific.
Right.
Obviously, the one that's in the Colorado is not the same windshield.
For a
as
Durango.
So the front and rear have to be bought, and then the rest, we're repurposing side lights, interior lights, radios, all of that, we're repurposing, we're not buying any of that new. So
Gotcha.
there'll be only 2 new lights on the vehicle and everything else will be repurposed for what we
Really, you
have.
could just remove 40 out of that, leave the rest if she wants it. Cause it was advertised as other services 50 and supplies is
so
5.
correct me if I'm wrong, but the way it was explained to me by people previously in your seats is that when you advertise, you have a certain section, 4 things that you can advertise for. Obviously, I mean, you look at any budget, we have 25, 30 different things. So I think that's kind of what you put it in, but then whenever I do the detailed budget, it'll be equipment, vehicle purchase, supplies, so.
I'm just saying for, as far as if you're asking for 40, we could just remove it from this, leave 10 in there and the 5 alone.
It's all the same.
Off of what
It's
It's all
all
the same
coming
fund.
from the same place.
It's all the same.
The
Yeah,
same.
it
Those were
doesn't-
just saying that it went 2 different lines to spend it out of.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
So, yeah,
we don't
I
have
see
to,
what you're saying,
we
but
don't
that,
have to
yeah.
mess with the.
It's all coming from this, but we
Okay.
have it separated there.
Okay,
Where's the vehicle coming from?
John Jones, so we get the, we get a government discount with that, and obviously local.
How much are we asking for?
40,000.
40,000 and
And
the,
it's coming from her
I don't know where.
1206 line, which she has 76,910.
910.
Requesting 38,000.
It was a
yeah,
mistake.
that was wrong on their part.
It was a mistake.
And then on hers, the total request is like 39,783, so
It's just,
40 and it gives
Over
a couple
us.
$100
It's just
bucks
for us, yeah.
buffer is what
so
she's
we
saying.
don't,
Yeah.
or at least,
And once again, it's her money.
yeah, okay. So
It's the
I,
county's money.
Well, the
I
county's
will-
money.
It's sitting there to be used.
I will entertain a motion to,
Can I ask one more question real quick? So
Thank-
what are you doing again? I'm sorry.
No, it's okay,
No, I'm
it's
sorry.
been a while.
It has been.
So, we are purchasing a new vehicle for the health department
Is that gonna be a truck or
it is gonna be a Durango.
Durango? Okay.
And then I have a Durango, in my lot, and I'm going to be swapping my Durango that I have now with Nick's Colorado.
Mhm.
So, and then I'm trading in my red Colorado, cause it's it's a lot less newer than Nick's. So Nick, it's kind of a trade-off. Nick, I think it's the worst end of the deal, honestly, but, I'm getting rid of my old Colorado, I'm getting his newer Colorado, and then he's getting a Durango, so his fleet's all Durangos and not.
That's one that the inspector, the health inspector, whatever, that's what
Yes,
he
yes,
does,
yes,
yeah.
mhm.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes, Mr. Brennan.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay, you're fine. All right. I'll entertain a motion for request for additional appropriations out of Fund 1206 into line 42601 for vehicle purchase.
I'll make that motion.
40,000, okay. Okay, hold on.
So
I
we
don't
got
even,
40 though, right?
yes, I don't even have I'm not even, okay, health. Who did? Miller?
Yeah, and Jim,
And then White? All right, any comments or questions? Comments or questions?
You're so quiet.
All right.
We'll be on a limb on this one, I believe.
All right, all in favor?
Yeah, go for it.
All against? All right,
Just for the vehicle,
Well, I should have commented during comment time, but, your vehicle's only got 70 some odd thousand miles on it. You know, everything I got, I mean, everybody says it all the time.
Yeah.
Everything I got 150,000 miles. And I think you've got a good enough vehicle that you should go ahead and get more use out of it.
Yeah.
And save all the switching around all the lights and all that stuff. And I came to that today, really, because I hate to tell people that they can't use the money that they have in their budget. But on the other hand, being a good steward of taxpayer dollars, I know it's cliche, but that's the purpose that I'm here for. Is being a good steward of taxpayer dollars. If you have excess money that you can buy a vehicle that you really don't quote unquote need, then I say maybe you got too much money.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, and so I think I maybe mentioned this last time, but it didn't get brought up tonight, was that I've already put a transmission in that red truck. And it's starting to show some of those, like sensors and things kind of trending in that direction. So it's kind of just a judgment call. I mean, we could do nothing and keep it and it'd be perfectly fine for 4 more years and get 150,000 miles on it. Or, you know, I could need another new transmission in a month. So kind of just a judgment call, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, smarter people than me voted for it, so.
And then I will ask, is it okay if I come on the 30th to talk about moving that part-time position to a full-time position? If not, it's okay, we can wait till June, but since you're just adding things to the agenda.
What else on 30th?
yeah, what do we have so far?
I think on that one, we're gonna have Kevin's, the sealed bids that we opened, because if we put those back to July, or to June, that those will be outside of the time frame, if I understand right, that'll be outside the bid. So we're gonna have those there.
Is it all right to push you to June?
Yeah, it's
Could
fine.
we do
I
it
just-
June?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
I didn't know that we did.
I didn't know we were
What's the
having
march,
that.
what is the
Oh.
30th, anyway, I don't know what that is.
Memorial Day weekend.
So,
I mean, why are we here?
We could ask, and I can't remember what the original thing was, we talked about doing one on the 24th.
yes,
For something that, some sort of additional appropriation we needed.
We have somebody else.
Okay, go with that. It's 3
It'll be a Wednesday.
That was gonna be
Was
a
it for
Wednesday,
you?
like at 3
I'm not
o'clock.
coming, you know,
CCNV.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
that'll be on the 24th.
yes, at the commissioners meeting, but
That's
then
what we're
we,
gonna open that
right, but then we had to do something on the 30th. We had originally talked about the 24th.
At like 3 o'clock.
3:30, yeah.
But after we talked about that, it was pointed out to me that the bids that were opened for the mowing equipment, the chip and seal equipment, everything, those bids will expire before our
So that's
June
why we have to
meeting.
do it.
And if we don't move those up, he's gonna have to go through that process again.
So, yes.
And we're gonna be at your place the 21st. That's right.
Yeah, so
4
we'll,
o'clock?
yeah.
4 o'clock.
Can I get an overtime sheet?
Yes, we need overtime. Let's motion, put that motion there, do I?
Thank you for that.
All right. Nick, or whomever is coming on up.
Probably a good idea.
Hi, Nick.
Oh, I have no papers and no trees.
No papers and no
at you.
trees, all right.
I don't know what I'm honestly supposed, I think it's just the one thing that we have to talk about.
Yes,
'Cause everything
so,
got changed, so.
so this,
You got a paper in your mouth.
nothing that's pretty and
I didn't wanna
colorful.
weight your binders down with useless information, so I figured I'd take a break.
So we have we have the striker payment, which is a total of $153,394.15. It was due in March. And due to advertising and other issues, we have to get it approved and paid today. We originally advertised it to completely come out of lit, but after talking to Nick and, right, they told us to just pay the 153 and then come to them about taking the late fees off. Yep. So, after talking to Nick, paying part out of lit and part out of, which line item did you say we could pay it out of medical equipment? We could split it in half, get it paid, and that way we're not depleting lit before the end of the year, before the middle of the year, you know, so that leaves some money in lit, and then we can revisit any kind of transfers or anything that we have to do at the end of the year from lit into their, medical equipment line to then either make them whole or give them what they need. But this has to be, we have to get it paid, so. That being said, do I have a
We
motion to?
need two, right?
Yes, no, we only need one because, they're paying it out of a line item that's already, we just
So we need
the-
a motion to pay out of lit
Out of lit.
$76,697.08. I'll make that motion.
I second it.
What was that number, JR?
$76,697.08. That's half, and then they do the other half.
So I have, you made the motion?
Yeah.
I second it. I second it.
Any questions or concerns?
No, I think it's probably an adequate way to take care of that. Well, I mean, it's,
Yeah.
there's all kinds of stuff going on, and,
We also-
so I think it's,
And we also mentioned about his parking lot repair, what we're gonna do there, you said something.
Well, we don't have, they can pay it out of their building materials, and then we're gonna advertise it for our June meeting, so we don't need to adjust, we don't need to do anything with that right now.
End of the month, whatever, I think we can still get it in.
I'm indifferent, whatever's easier for you.
So, I have a motion by JR, seconded by White, all in favor? Oh, I'm sorry. Miller,
Just put John.
I know, John, all in
Odds are in your
favor?
favor.
7-0.
For
We got that
we will
paid.
need to transfer money from line items into our medical equipment
Okay.
line item.
Are they the same sequence?
No,
They are not, and I do not have those numbers in front of me right now.
what do you need?
We need to transfer.
So what we're pretty much doing is, we did the opioid money at the beginning of the year. That money is sitting, I'm essentially using that to pay this. So I'm gonna have to borrow out of my, or move out of my, salary line items to my medical equipment. Cause I only get typically 5,000 to 10,000 for medical equipment a year. This is obviously significantly more than that, so I'm gonna have to transfer from those two line items that are sitting there to that medical equipment. Obviously, it's in my budget, it's just I'm gonna have to go from a 1,000 series to, I think, a three.
One, two, three.
Can we just do that?
You can just do that,
Okay.
yep, because it doesn't have to be advertised.
I
You
can
just
get you the
have to
fund
approve.
numbers if you give me like 45 seconds if you need
Okay.
them.
Okay.
what was the dollar amount?
70,
I'm gonna do 45 from training director and 32 from deputy director, if that's okay. There'll be, you know, an extra $400 or whatever it is, if that's what, that would be my
Maybe if they know
request.
those lines, I think you could, if you want to tell them training director, we can look that up tomorrow. if
Yeah.
you want, and put it in
Because
the
I've got it
minutes.
right here, if not.
Okay.
so
So
I,
it'd be 45 from training director and 32 from deputy director
okay,
going into our medical equipment line item.
What was the second total?
32,000,
32.
32 was the second.
What's the medical equipment?
that's the 3,000, that's what I'm scrolling here trying to,
45,000.
training
training,
director,
Director, yeah.
okay.
What was the second one, I'm sorry?
32,000 and a deputy director.
Trying to get a signal.
You have the Wi-Fi? You don't have the Wi-Fi?
I do,
It's still in work.
Yes,
correct.
We'll need to upgrade that
training,
next.
do it like that.
Well, I'm pretty sure Andrew talked to you about
All right,
cell phone
so
booth.
let's not
That
get
ain't
into
gonna help
that
the
right now.
Wi-Fi.
Okay, so we're gonna have to do two.
Should get a Verizon phone.
I want it to work.
Do I have a motion to move 45,000 out of training director into medical equipment supply?
Training officer is 11118.
I'll make that motion.
Okay.
Second.
Any comments or questions?
Yeah. That, they're taking that money and paying for medical supplies, basically.
Yes.
And then they'll replace that money
Yes.
with
Nothing,
opioid.
no.
Moving opioid
We're
to,
already getting paid out of the opioid.
Yeah, they're already getting paid out of the opioid. That's where that
You already
money,
get opioid, so you've got excess basically in my brain,
yes.
Yes,
in the salary.
correct.
line.
Yes.
Those are sitting full.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
all in favor? Okay, and then the second one is, I'm gonna entertain a motion to transfer 32,000 from the deputy director line item to medical equipment supply.
11133.
11133, and that one is Collins, do I have a second?
second.
Any comments or questions? Yep, all in favor?
The fund moving to will be 42000.
Half of that comes out of it.
42000.
We still,
That we transferred money to cover in these accounts. Half, that same amount comes out of lit, which makes the total of 153, 394.15. How quickly can we cut them a check?
It's gotta go in front of the commissioners, which they know,
yeah,
Well, they can do that on the 14th, I would assume.
That's what-
10th.
Yeah.
yeah, that's what they're
Yeah.
doing.
So
As long as that's-
I'll sign you a
End of the
form
month.
tomorrow and bring
Yes.
it over.
Okay, that'll be great, and we'll have a special invoice ready, and it'll be approved that, Wednesday, and more likely.
Do you
it'll go
want
out that-
to split one from us and then one from your side?
Or do you want me to put it on one, split it in one?
Cause I
I
don't
can
have
split it in one if you would like that.
I don't have an appropriation in lit right now for equipment.
Oh,
Can you make a line item in lit real quick for equipment for me?
no, I'll do that,
I mean, well, that would be easier, wouldn't it, for them to create that, to move that money to?
yeah.
Okay.
Alright. I'll entertain a motion to create a line item in lit for
The money you already voted on.
equi-
It would be
Medical
the same-
equipment.
medical
It'd be the
equipment,
same 4200 series, just coming out of
out of the
1170.
medical equipment coming out of lit.
I'll make a motion to create that line.
JR White, right,
Miller,
Miller, shit,
John.
Miller. Any questions or concerns?
We're gonna have more than one medical equipment line.
This is in lit,
one in
It's out of different
1170 and one in
funds.
1151.
yes.
Okay, we'll be able to keep track of that.
Yep.
So we don't double your money.
Alright, all in favor? Alright,
Okay, so I'll make you one for 1170, 4200, and then I'll make you one for 1151, 4200.
That'd be great,
Okay.
yes.
Thank you, Dave.
And like I said, wherever the Wednesday night is, the next Friday, that check will go out, so, and then we'll know, like in 2 weeks, to contact them again.
what, we're gonna do that, we're gonna, just a second. What time is the 30th meeting?
I would assume 5:30, like you've had these others, whatever you want to
What
do.
time?
That way I'm not time it if it's something special.
If we're all gonna get together on the 21st, why don't we just advertise a special meeting?
Because it's-
So it doesn't open until the 24th.
It's not.
They don't open until the 24th.
I don't know. I can count. I don't know if it'll be, I don't think it will.
I mean,
I think it's
10?
I think we need 10 days.
10 business days?
Didn't specify that. Did not specify.
Okay, so next
It don't
on,
be
next on the agenda is Sheriff's Department. Request for line items, this is old business that was tabled from April 24th. So he has 4 line item transfers that he's asking for. Unfortunately, he's not here to answer any questions that we have about these line item transfers. So,
I'd make a motion to table until we get questions answered themselves.
I'll second it.
okay, so I have a motion by White to table the sheriff line item transfers until he can be present to answer questions, seconded by Eric. Any questions or concerns? All in favor? 7-0. Okay. Last item on the agenda is old business, is the drainage board. So there's a request for an additional appropriation from the drainage board fund, right? So not from the public safety, but the drainage board. Drainage board fund, for $5,000.
I think Collins had some information on this,
Yes.
right?
That's, supposedly, I think, to pay Kevin Brown for his services for operating the crane or the
Professional service.
track one removals.
Okay, so
And that's out of, the fund is actually drainage.
drainage board. And their fund balance right now is $27,000, so if,
And that is not lit, right?
it's not
No,
lit, no, it was,
It's out of their funds,
yeah,
so-
it was a,
That was a typo.
They just need everybody to be okay.
Yeah, they're just paying the payroll.
alright, so I have I'll entertain a
I
motion.
so move.
Okay.
Second. Me or Miller, wanna toss it up?
Miller. Any questions or concerns? All in favor? Alright. Alright. We don't have anything else, oh, we need to decide on a time for the 30th, correct?
Well, Diane, what works for you
Yeah.
to do that? Nothing.
So I'll either have to take off work or miss it.
Or what can we do?
What days are you off? Weekend?
Right now, I'm working 7 AM to 9 PM, Monday to Friday.
Ooh. I don't even like anybody that likes that kind of hours.
Alright, well, we could call in. Could you call in?
On the 30th?
Yeah, on the 30th.
I mean,
You
I think
could-
she means, did you mean for her to call the
Call
meeting?
into the
Yeah,
meeting.
call in,
Okay.
no,
On the
yes.
phone.
But I won't be able to vote.
No, you can't
I
vote, but
wanna vote
you wanna
on
vote
that one.
on the stuff that's coming up on that one? Okay.
How long do you think it can take?
Well, if we cut off and don't have anything else added, an hour.
You take a lunch?
Well, my lunch is here, I'll work something out.
Okay.
Well, could we schedule a meeting in your lunch hour?
Well, I don't know, we have a workforce, usually my lunch is 4 to 4:30. That's it, but I'll work it out somehow.
So what time works for you as far as?
5:30 to 6:30 would be fine, if I can, I'll swing it somehow.
So,
It's Tuesday. Is there any, is it carved in stone, it has to be Tuesday? I mean, can we, or can it be a week earlier, or?
Also,
it can't be earlier.
Can't be any
I
earlier.
think that's Memorial Day weekend, people's gonna be coming.
Can it be
I'm
later?
gonna be in town, but everybody
Yeah.
else is gonna be in town.
It has to be on the 30th?
No, it can be later,
It can
just
be
not until
It
June,
can't.
right? When do those expire?
When do you?
June 1st?
So you only got 2 days, you got the 30th and 31st.
No, you're like mower and chip seal.
The sooner the better,
But they've already been
but
open.
majority of them 30 days are the bids. Now, that doesn't mean they won't re-up them and stand good by them, but nobody will push out much.
They've already been opened though, right?
That's what I'm saying, we got.
You could go from now until
Basically
whenever.
now till, it's.
But we have other things on that agenda that have to be advertised
Okay.
that's within that, that's
Okay.
why we were,
The thing is, they were open
Yes.
and the ARPA, oh, wait a minute.
What date was that?
They were open, I think,
4/26.
26. Actually, those have been, because those went in this last week. So they should be out in the paper tomorrow.
And they have to be 10
I think
days.
it's 10 days.
From the time they come out,
So actually, if you wanted to do that Sunday afternoon, the 21st,
we're
I
all
think
gonna
we could
meet
do
and
that
go see
possibility.
him.
Works for me.
Then you don't
Saturday
have to,
afternoon,
then you don't
I
have to take time
My
off.
weekends are
Is it a public meeting for the public
Have to be a
intent?
public
Because
meeting,
that's,
wouldn't it?
It will have to be videotaped.
Yeah, it'd have to be a public.
Well, it'd have to be advertised.
But I mean, we could come in here, have a meeting, and then go see him.
Oh, wait a minute. Did we say,
I think the way, the idea of going to see him is before we vote and have the meeting.
Yeah.
I think
And-
that's, I think
Or
As
that's.
go,
far as I
go
go,
there,
I'll
come here.
I come up with that number 521. I mean, if the afternoon, evening's better for somebody, I was just trying to come up with the day, I was thinking, you know, Sunday afternoon, there's more people open and available.
That's fine with me.
Me and John's gonna have a hard time being back, because we're gonna be gone.
Okay, I can do any, I pulled that date out thinking, maybe that's a date I'll have more luck.
here, I don't know where.
So-
Can be on the 28th.
So if you come up with a date, I would like for you to come up with before that.
28th is graduation, so I won't be available on the 28th, so
So, I say just keep it on the 30th.
keep it on the 30th.
And I'll just do the best I can.
So 5:30 to 6:30,
And I'll do my
that works,
best.
and that works for you
But
though.
we need to keep it just for that purpose only, nothing, don't add nothing else to that meeting.
okay, well, we were gonna add, cause you had asked me to add the coroners.
Okay, we can do that.
The
maybe.
We
corner
can do that,
stuff?
that ain't gonna take no time.
Yeah, coroners, this stuff.
Was it the EMS parking lot? Does
He
that go
said
to
he
June?
can wait till
Okay.
He can wait till June,
Yeah.
Yep. The prosecutor's car.
Yes.
Oh,
That
yeah.
has to be on
Prosecutor's car, but that won't take any time.
Okay, that's fine, yeah.
So
Okay.
those three things,
Yeah.
so we've got three things, so
Yeah.
it shouldn't take.
So I'll work with my supervisor, see if I can, and if I can't, I can't.
Well-
If I can't be there, I'll just have to call in.
Well, and even if you've gotta leave early, you know,
We may do that first.
yeah, do.
So I'll work, either call him in, I mean, I'd like to be here, but if I have to call in, I'll call in.
All right, so the 30th at 5:30. So, meeting, 5:30. All right. There's nothing else. I'll entertain a motion.
Hey, I have one
Oh,
other
yep.
thing. Since everybody's here, are we good with, I had said something to Jennifer of our agendas, ending them the last business day of the month prior.
And she had talked to us earlier about that.
And we had all talked about it. Are we all,
I think by doing that, that helps us be more prepared, because not, getting things started as the last day before we have our meeting, if you don't have no time to research it, you don't have no time to do anything, so I think having it in, boom, for the next following month, if we can do that, that would really help us, I would think.
do we need to vote on that as a thing, or we all just agree? And I like that, yeah.
Yeah.
I like
Because,
it.
Now, I'm gonna say, that thing is a lot of work. It'll get easier as we go,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of hours been put on that this
I would say
week.
the only caveat to the end of the month is if the end of the month falls on a weekend, then give
Yeah.
her,
Yeah, that's fine.
that
That's
Monday.
fine with that,
I mean, my
But
thing
that at
is,
least will
I don't
give
mind
you
doing
a
it,
week.
and we do that, and I like to do it that way, quite frankly. And this time, it did take longer, it was longer to get to you, cause this was really tough, this one.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you, one thing I'm gonna do is we're gonna go to the department heads and ask them, I want everything sent by email. If you say something in this meeting, just consider it did not happen unless you send me an email, cause I want it in writing, I want.
Sorry.
Hey, I didn't have problems out
just
of
because you were
him.
here.
He's not having problems out of him.
No, I
And that's the
People do
fair way to
talk.
do things.
And then the appropriations, if anything needs to be appropriated,
Where
it needs to be by the middle of the month.
Yeah.
But it needs to be in by the middle of the month, so
Well,
that
and
it
we
can
have
be
the form from Heather
advertised.
for that, right?
Uh,
You have that
No,
form from Heather?
for-
that-
There's the form we have,
That's
yeah,
it.
that's the
Yeah.
only one I've
Okay.
got, yeah.
But the paperwork you did this time was great.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
and that
like
came
it.
from Heather, that's what she had.
Because that was easy to understand. Because
And
your
I
email,
want
trying
to-
to understand out an email, me trying to blow that up and read that, it's, I wrote it on paper, but yours is a whole lot better than what I did.
Yeah.
And I will request that, like, the stuff you sent out was great, but if we can have copies of that with this
Okay.
stuff, so that those letters like from Judge Hauser, and we can
Okay.
have those with us. cause, you know, trying to see them on the phone and stuff. I want to thank Debbie.
Yeah.
For doing this, cause I know.
Well, and like you said, I know
new
it's
form-
more work and it's more cumbersome, but I think it'll get better.
I think it will too.
And it'll get more streamlined where,
I think I'm learning a lot that's gonna help us at budget time.
well, and, you know, a department head needs something, they know what to send you and when to send it, and if they don't get it
You
in,
ready for me to say,
see you next month.
game's over?
Do it,
Okay.
there you go.
All right, I will entertain a motion to
I so
end.
move.
Okay,
I second it.
all in favor?
Who's second?
I did.
Oh,
Closing.
closing the meeting.
I'm in.
Who was the second?
I was.
Okay.
One of the Johns, just a
Are
John.
we all?
Was it Miller?
Anyway.
Yeah.
Come on now. You better get this back in order next week.
Yeah.